Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Oh, yes, man. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. They call him the BOAT. Oh, yes. I want to thank everybody, as always, for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. We got a whole lot to talk about inside the Hall of Fame. A lot of sports went down this weekend, as well as talk about the passing of one of the boxing greats, one of the all-time greats, George Foreman. We definitely got to speak on him. But we got somebody on standby right now who is a legend in her own right, as well. And she got a new book. Her name is Saraya, formerly known as Paige. She has a new book, Hell in Boots, Clawing My Way Through 9 Lives. She's a multi-time champion. She's done all of that as well. I don't even have the stat sheet with me right now, but let's bring in Saraya. Boom! Right now.
Yeah, hi, Booker.
Hey.
Hello.
What's going
First
on?
of all, having Booker call me a legend in my own right is probably the most iconic thing that's ever happened to me.
Come on,
so I
man.
appreciate
Come on.
that.
Well, that's coming from an OG brother from the hood.
OG
From the
from the
hood.
hood.
Oh my
From
God.
the hood. Yeah.
Did you tell him that story?
He just remembered it. I didn't tell him.
Oh my gosh. Dude, the internet started ripping me apart, and I was like, Booker told me to say it.
OG
It was so funny. Oh my
from
God.
the hood. How you feel, man? How you feel?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. It's just, you know how it is. Like once you're putting something out, you are going. Like you're you're busy. You're doing all this media. You're barely sleeping. But I'm so excited because it drops tomorrow. One more day.
Yeah, I mean, you do got so much going on, and I do want to, get into the book. Let's do that first,
Yeah.
first and foremost, because you've had so many different, waves. You've been on like so many different highs. You've had so many different lows, and you've been, there in the middle. So give me the overlay as far as you clawing your way through those 9 lives.
Yeah, it's just, personally, I'm not one to open up to people. Like I like to keep any traumatic experiences to myself. So a lot of people don't know what I've gone through in my life. And I always say like I'm a cat because I've gone through so many different lives. And that's where the subtitle comes in. But yeah, it starts from when I'm very, very young as a kid up until I win the AEW Women's Championship. And then, I've got a second book in me, so we'll get to that. But yeah, it's a very intense book. I've done a lot of media where people said, Saraya, at one point I had to put the book down for a second because it does get quite dark. And I wanted people to get to that point where if they're reading my story, they're impacted by it, and hopefully they can get inspired by it,
Yeah, that's the cool part, about being successful. I mean, being able to give back, being able to pay it forward a little bit, because I always say writing my book and telling my story, it definitely did something for me, but I know it did something for so many young people out there that was walking in my boots, and then they hear it from me and they go, man, if Booker T can do it, I can do it too.
Exactly.
That was my message. And my thing is, you do have like so many different layers, like I say, because, I remember you, as a little kid, in the arenas, running around and stuff, and it was like it was destined to happen. You know what I mean? It was your destiny to be a part of this business. But do you tap on that part of the journey?
Like from when I was a kid?
Yeah, like when you was in the arenas running around.
Yeah. I talk about that, being in the business, and then also like watching my dad when I was a kid and not realizing, like I 100% believe my dad was getting his ass beat constantly. And it was just like, I just remember being in the arena and feeling that and feeling the energy from like, I mean, we didn't have a big crowd back then, even if there's like 20 people, but like wrestling has such a wonderful energy when you're in the crowd. So yeah, I talk about that when I was younger, being in the little small venues or in the parking lots where our ring would be set up. It's just, yeah, I want people to see it from the very, very beginning. Yeah. And just know how much I'm so involved and in love with wrestling, you know?
Well, that obviously comes through throughout your whole career. But one of the things of writing a book, did you find that it was cathartic at times to like revisit these places and actually kind of make peace with maybe moments that you haven't really dealt with?
Yeah, you know, it was very therapeutic in a way. And you know what? Like, Booker's going to understand this. It's one of the most exhausting experiences I think I've ever done because, you know, I tried to have, you know, a ghostwriter at the beginning. So I was just like, I don't think I'm going to be able to put pen to paper as well as someone else who can professionally do it. But then when she did it, I love her. Great. God bless her. But like, she made me sound like I was out of the cast of Annie, right? So then I had to redo it again and spend another year on top of that, completely gutting it and rewriting it. And so I had to keep going through these emotions so many times. Like even Renee, our girl Renee Booker was just texting me today saying that she was reading the book and just like she said, I can't imagine what you had to go through to write like a certain chapter, you know? And it's like very, very intense. And it's like there's highs and there's lows, but the lows when you have to like really get them out as a person that doesn't really like to show her feelings, you know, it was really, really difficult. It was very difficult.
Yeah, that's the part, when friends, and family read it, and they really like start feeling it at the same time. It's like there's one story in my book where my sister and I had to, get in our mom's old car. My mother had passed away, but we had to get in the car and we had to go to the gas station just to get some water. And
Oh,
when my wife hear that story, man, she just cries, man. She just cries. You know what I mean? So it is so emotional. Going back, reading it, going back, watching it. So there again, how have you felt? Dealing with that side of it.
yeah. I'm so proud of myself for doing it. Again, it's like it's a very vulnerable like position you put yourself in when you let people in that close, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just yeah, I'm just very proud of myself. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I put all that out there and just like, you know, people, again, everyone that's reading me is texting me about it. And it was just like, I just had no idea you went through all these things. I'm like, because I don't like to share these things. But I was like, if I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write my book. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to tell everybody the nitty gritty, the very dark times where I hit complete rock bottom, you know, like my childhood, how dark it got, you know, it was just, I needed people to really see me. And, you know, I'm quite a controversial figure, right, when it comes to wrestlers. And a lot of people have told my story, like, and, you know, and then a lot of people think they know who I am. And a lot of people have an opinion about me and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it was like really important for me to be able to tell my story, you know, and actually have, you know, it come from me, basically, you know.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brad. I see you.
Yeah, when you hit submit though to the publisher, so it's one thing to like write it, go through the edit, and then you send it off. The deadline's here, and you know that it's locked, and there's no change in anything in the book. It's
Oh
going to
yeah.
hit the shelves. Like, what was that feeling like, knowing that this is it?
It terrified me because I was just like, okay, like I might hurt some feelings or I might not hurt any feelings. It just depends what it is. But it's just like having, again, being so vulnerable and having that part of me like out there. And then so many things have changed since the end of this book too. Like there's a lot of big things that are about to come out, like positive stuff, you know, and also like I was with a boyfriend at the end of my book. I'm no longer with him. Like my life is going a completely different direction. It's just like, I feel like I wish I could change it, but then it's just, you know, I can just do another book on top of it. But yeah, things have just changed since then. In the past couple of months, it's crazy what life can do, you know?
Yeah. When you left WWE, I mean, let's talk about that for a second. When you left WWE, there was so many people probably anticipating you, perhaps coming back to WWE, and then boom, you end up in AEW. Are there any perhaps unfinished business in WWE perhaps that you perhaps want to finish? I mean, because you're still young. You're still young. I mean, even though you started so young in the business, you're still young enough to still make a huge impact. So I was just wondering what's your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I love WWE and I don't have any like any negative feelings towards them. I mean, they raised me, they saved me a lot. Like I just appreciate them so much. And like the idea of going somewhere else was only because, you know, the potential of my brother being there was like a big thing. I just wanted him to be a success in wrestling, you know? And so, but I love WWE, and I would absolutely, if there was something that they needed from me, which was like exciting, I would definitely go there. Yeah, absolutely. Like it would be silly not to, I feel like, you know. So yeah, if there's an opportunity to do something fun, hell yeah, I'll jump on board.
Well, you know, I will say you had an incredible career in WWE, but in AEW, watching you at Wembley come out to Queen, have that moment. I remember Booker and I talking about it on the show, and just how impactful it was, and how I felt like everybody was rooting for you to go out there and do it. And then you do it, get it done, and be able to celebrate winning the world title after, you know, maybe you thought you weren't going to wrestle again. I know you covered in the book, but just what was that experience like, just walking out to Queen?
Yeah, so they surprised me with that, with the Queen, because I asked for it, but it's really pricey, you know, to like get a song like that. But I just thought, you know, the Brits love Queen, they love Freddie Mercury, and they love to sing. Like, you know, Booker, you know, you've wrestled before, you know how like intense they can get, and they love that kind of thing. So I was like, oh, I'd really love this song. And then they were like, oh, we don't think we're going to get it for you. But they did. And I was so like happy, and the crowd loved it. They were very much into it. And then I didn't tell my family there with me, but I didn't tell my family I was winning because I wanted them to have an authentic like reaction and be happy for me. But I bawled my eyes out because I never thought I would wrestle again. I never thought I would hold a championship again. I never thought I would be performing in Wembley Stadium in my life. So I was very grateful. And yeah, I cried my eyes out. When Tony had told me the day before, the night before, it was like very last minute, you know? It just, I just said, thank you. I'm like, this is incredible. I mean, I didn't hold it for that long, but like,
You know,
it was,
that's definitely something we got to talk. We got to take a quick break, but that's something we got to talk about. And stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in one moment.
Keep it going there, Book.
Okay, well, let's just keep it going. We got a little technical difficulty there. I look like Brad, but we're gonna keep it rolling. But no, that's what I want to talk to you about. Was the scheduling, in AEW compared to WWE. It's like AEW compared to WCW. I always tell the story when I first signed with WWE in 2001, right? Before that, I used to be on my boat almost like every weekend. I'll be out fishing, going up to the, little club, and getting a drink and whatnot, all that stuff, And then I signed with WWE in 2001, and I went to work. And then one day I said, man, I had a weekend off. I said, I'm going to go out in my boat and, go hang out, try to catch something. But I had to go get a sticker put on it because it had been sitting for a while. And I went and get the sticker put on it, and I realized it was 2005.
It'd been 4 years?
It had been 4 years since I had been out of my boat.
oh my God.
So I was like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? But I realized how much time I had off, in WCW. How does it feel having, the leisure in AEW and being able to have that scheduled, or you can actually, still have, so much more life to do over here?
Yeah, it is very different, Book. You're right, because I'm used to doing like 5 days a week and then only going home for like one day,
Yeah.
and I love the grind. I love that. Like I enjoyed my time. It was exhausting, of course. But like, yeah, I had to get used to just like being at home a little bit, like it was like that. I mean, I retired for a little bit, but I constantly stayed busy. But just in the wrestling world, it was like very weird to not have live events and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, it was nice. Like we get the freedom, to do whatever we want. And that was one of the big catalysts of me wanting to sign there too, is you do get a lot of freedom. And, like I don't have to ask permission to go do things and all that kind of stuff, which I think WWE's changed now. I think they're actually more open to that kind of stuff, which I think is great. I love that they're adapting and changing like that, like always. I mean, that's what they do. But yeah, it was just like at the time, it was like, it wasn't like that. So that's one of the reasons why I went over there. It was nice.
Yeah.
It's nice, but you know, and I get to do whatever I want. I get to act. I get to do all these other projects, and I don't have to worry about it.
Is it true to my concept though? You know, like time off is your worst enemy.
Yes. Yes.
It's
like it is for a wrestler. We're used to being 100 miles an hour all the time and staying busy, like, and filling our days up with stuff. So like if I'm sitting there and I don't have anything to do, I start getting stir crazy. And that's where the trouble comes in, you know. I'm like, I have to try to stay off the internet.
The bumps hurt a little bit harder too after being off for longer. You know what I mean? You come back, you get in the ring, you take a bump, and you go, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I literally said that before. I think like a couple of days ago because I was like, okay, I had 5 years of not wrestling, right? And so my body had healed, but and then you take one bump and you're just like, what have I been doing my whole life? Like our body was one big callus, you know, and all of a sudden you're like soft and supple and taking a bump and you're like, what is this? What the heck? So you have to adapt to that. So having too much time off as well, I feel like you have to stay busy and you have to stay active because if not, if you're sitting around, like you take your bump, it hurts more. Yeah.
Again, we're talking to Saraya. Hell in Boots, clawing my way through 9 lives, available right now wherever books are sold, officially tomorrow. So make sure you pre-order that copy, order it right now. But Saraya, you and I have a unique bond, whether you know it or not. We both have worked with Booker T. Okay, and it has its pros, it has its cons. Lord knows it. What was your experience like working with Booker and Renee and everybody on WWE Backstage, which was such a fun show?
It was a really fun show, and I loved it so much. I love working with Booker. Like Booker, I know I'm like talking about you like you're not here right now, but like he's just very like if you need advice about anything, if you need like you can ask him a question at any time. Like he's open and willing to do it for you. Like and I know like a lot of people do that, but he's at this legend status, right? Where he doesn't really need to socialize with us if he doesn't want to. He can have his own dressing room, he can go do his thing. But no, you're always there and you're always laughing and you kept morale high. Like you're always with a big smile on your face, always making jokes, always cracking jokes. Even to the point where he got me into trouble online. But no, he's such a pleasure to work with. Like I adore Booker, and if anyone says any different, I was about to cuss them, but they ain't good people.
I say that all the time. You know, I say, you know, I'm normally a pretty nice guy. Normally, you know, people like me. You know, I say, but if you don't like me, I've told you, you know, something you didn't like. Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's the thing about you too, is that you are brutally honest, man. You're a brutally honest man. Even if it hurts someone's feelings to hear the bitter truth, that doesn't matter. You're still going to tell it to someone. And I love people like that, though. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want people to beat around the truth or what. I want to be told honestly, and that's exactly who you are. And I love that about you, and I feel like everyone loves that about you. You're like, but you don't want to get on the wrong side of you, though. That's the thing.
No, you don't want to get that phone call. You don't want to get that phone call.
No. You definitely have like this intimidating aura about you. That's a good
thing. Man, I'm always laughing, man.
You are, but you're still.
But when I'm not laughing.
Oh, that's when you have to worry, right? That's when you have to worry. But no, you have like this intimidating aura. Even though I've known you for like a better half of a decade, you know, I've known you for a long, long time.
Long time.
You still have like that energy about you. Like you're just a very powerful person. You know, like you command a room when you walk into it, which is why you're so successful. You know.
You know, I just try to just keep working hard, just like you. We just keep working. We just keep putting in the work, and and more importantly, giving back like you're doing right now, like you said. Is important to you. Like for me, it was so important. I really didn't realize how important it was until I did my book From Prison to Promise, and did the feedback I always get, you know, from people when they read it. And what I always say, you know, I say when you finish with it, you know, pass it on to someone else. It might can help them. You know what I mean? So with your book, so make sure you let them know. You know, to pass it on when they finish with it, because it might get help. So, but more importantly, go buy it. Go buy it first.
Buy like 10 copies and pass the 10 copies out. That's what we want to do. And then tell somebody to buy 10. But I want to ask you too, Saraya, because you were saying that your booker got you in trouble one time on social media, which, you know, I know all fun and games. But Booker always says on this show, man, if I had social media when I was coming up, I'd be in so much trouble. I wouldn't know what I'd be doing. You know, I mean, you've said that on the show before, but having come up in the social media game, you know, Saraya, it's a positive and it's a negative. How have you been able to ride that wave?
Well, you know, I had moments where I couldn't ride it very well, and I'll end up, you know, talking some crap on the internet. But recently, you know, I've told myself the best thing you can do when you have social media is to delete it off your phone and take a break from it. So I do that often, where I feel like if I'm getting too much, because everyone wants to hate on you for something. And I feel like the IWC, especially on Twitter, they have a problem with everything. So if I've performed or done something, I delete social media off my phone. I'm not going to read it because I know I'll bite, and that's what they want. So it's like, and everyone as well, everyone's doing everyone tries to say that their life is perfect and all this kind of stuff. And you know, social media is not real. So I try to delete it and to have a little refresh. And yeah, it's just the best thing I've done for myself. I'll go a week without being on it, and I just have someone post for me. You know, it's just. Yeah. It's dangerous on there. People are nuts.
Oh my God, man! It is really dangerous on there, man. It's like crime circus. You know, that's the site I watch, the crime circus. You watch it; it's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah. But no, man. I stay off the social media myself as far as Twitter and stuff like that, because they try to kill me, man. They try to kill me. But I don't let it get to me, because I always say they wish, you know, not they hope, they wish they had my job. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They wish it was in my position. You know? So no, man, I'm take it where I can get it. But let everybody know again where they can get the book. And so they can get it, and all your social media, tag everything.
Yeah,
right now.
You got it. So social media, I only have Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and it's Saraya across the board at Saraya, Saraya. There is links in my bios for the book, but if it's easier, just go to Amazon. It's on there. Everyone has an Amazon. But yeah, so follow me on there. Keep up. Let me know what you think of the book. Leave reviews, whatever you need to do, and pass the book along.
Yeah, well, you can get it. Well, any bookstore out there?
Any bookstore, if you want to go to Barnes & Noble. I also did an audio version too, where I read the book. I feel like that's really important for the author to do, you know. So I did that. So if you don't like to read, then there's the option to listen instead on Amazon or wherever you get your books.
Oh yeah, man, that's a real legend, man. Legend.
No, you saying that?
I'm serious. I want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, giving us a little champagne wishes, man, little caviar dreams. We really, really appreciate you guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Fellas, let's talk about confidence. The kind of confidence that counts when it's time to step up and deliver. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets designed to help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer lasting erections. We're talking about getting in the game and staying in it.
And you know what they say, man, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And with Blue Chew, you can take these chewables anytime, day or night. So you're always good to go when the opportunity strikes. And the best part, the entire process is done online. No doctor's visits, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy.
Ooh, yeah. And Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is, offering you a whole month for free. It's simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com and consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once approved, you'll receive your prescription delivered discreetly right to your door, made in the USA and ready to go when you are.
Now, Brad, let's get real. Does it work? Man, they'll mistake you for a soldier at full salute. You'll be pitching a tent like a true Eagle Scout, man. Blue Chew won't stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. That's the mission, dog.
And listen, confidence is key, especially when you're all bricked up. There's nothing sexier than a man who's ready to go. And at BlueChew.com, they can help bring that energy when it matters most. Don't miss out on what could be the best night of your life. Make life easier by getting harder. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a deal just for our listeners. Try your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com, use the promo code Booker, and there's more details and important safety information. And as always, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast.
Oh, yeah, man. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Why you all red, man? Why you red right now, Tom?
Why did I read the ad that way? I know it's
Ain't nothing
coming.
like
Pause.
a
But
man all bricked up.
sexier than a man all bricked up. I'm like, what the hell is
You
wrong?
gotta say it like that too.
You know what? I blame you. I blame you. Where were you to be like, hey, Brad, why don't you say that a little bit differently? Or you could have jumped in and been like, pause, and
I
picked up
thought you
the
was
ad.
really feeling that. I thought you was feeling the ad.
Oh my gosh. And I know it's coming and it still hurts. Pause on all this. Shout out to our guest, Soraya, the lovely Soraya, who came and, make sure
Big
you go
time,
get
man.
her book.
Big time, man. I'm serious, man.
Hell in Boots, Clawing My Way Through 9 Lives. Yeah,
Listen.
y'all, you always say when y'all were on the backstage show, man, you just had so much fun with her. And I know her mom came down and did some stuff at Row. You went over there.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. It was always had a great time with her, man. And I always felt like it was going to work its way back around somehow. I tell you, as well as, man, that WWE backstage, that gig, that was a sweet gig, man. That was a sweet gig. You know what I mean? They used to put me up to this sweet hotel right there in Beverly Hills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? And man,
you were living large.
Oh man, beautiful. Went to Dan Tannell's. And got one of the best pastas you ever gonna have in your life. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's see. Chicken parm with pasta, on the side. Oh my God, that chicken parm was so big. It was so big, biggest plate. I was like, there's no way I can eat all of this. By the end of that night, all of it was gone. But nah, man, can't wait to revisit those time. Hopefully, Saraya and I, get back together, do it all over again one more time. Yeah. Hey man, but no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say she's just she got such an awesome story. If you've seen the movie that was based on her life, and then to know, I mean, look, I remember when she made her debut the night after whatever it was, WrestleMania. Her and Emma first had that big NXT takeover match, which kind of helped start this women's revolution in the WWE. And then she beat AJ Lee the night after Mania, huge moment for her. And so I've seen like the whole ups and downs and all the personal stuff that, would come out on social media and this and the third. And she's had a hell of a life, man. And the fact that she's still here to continue to follow her dream and her passions, man, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Testify. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. But over the weekend, man, we had some sports events that went down that we definitely got to talk about. I don't know if you had a chance to check them out. I didn't give you a call. I didn't give you an update. And so you can actually go back and check it out if you haven't. But did you get a chance to see the NCAA tournament with Gable Steveson and Wyatt Henriksen?
No, I did not. I was watching the Cougs go out there and put it on them boys of Gonzaga. That's what I was watching.
I was dug in, man. I watched that Leon Edwards tried to make his triumphant return to the UFC against Sean Brady as well. But that Gable Steveson contest, man. Gable Steveson, 17-0. I don't even know why he's still doing the NCAA stuff. I mean, he's a grown-ass man, but he keep going back for more. And they always say, like it's like a bank robber. You just got to go back for one more heist. You just keep feeling that way. You got to go back for one more heist, and then boom, get caught. Almost like Lance Armstrong. He had to go back just for one more heist, and that's what Gable Steveson did. And man, what a tournament! Gable Steveson has Henriksen down 4-2, and it's like 30 seconds left. Henriksen shoots on him, grabbed a single. All the way, just running him all the way around in circle. It tops him 3 points. And then it's 5-4 with 13 seconds left. And man, that kid Henriksen just rolled him, and you can see that in the anguish in his face, how hard he was really trying. And boom, he took Stevenson down again. Match over. Unbelievable. Oh man.
Man, that's tough.
I've had to watch it several times, man, because I watched the full 15. And I tell you, what a freaking tournament. It seemed like Stevenson got lackadaisical. Seemed like he felt like he was going to win this thing. Seemed like it was just not enough time to actually really do anything, that was going to make a huge difference. But wow, what a freaking wrestler that Wyatt Hendrickson is, man. And what a performance that he put on at that NCAA tournament. Beautiful, beautiful work, man. I swear to God. Got to go back and check it out. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely got to go back and check out that last 60 seconds, and you will be thoroughly impressed with what went on.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to check that out after that glorious review from you. I would also make mention that unlike Lance Armstrong, I don't think Gable Steveson wasn't pulling off a heist, as in, trying to get one over on the doping authority or anything like that.
No, not like that. No, I mean,
I'm just clearing it up. I'm just clearing it up when people are like, what does he mean? Heist. What does he mean? Is he doping? Is he on that?
He's not on the EPO. No, I'm not
EPO. He ain't EPOing.
He's not on the EPO. I'm talking about.
He's just what, a 10th year senior?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He graduated a long damn time ago. But this is a guy who went tried to play pro ball, came to the WWE, and then you go back to college. That's what I mean about the heist. He thought he was going to get an easy one. But I tell you, man, this kid, Wyatt Hendrickson, that name is definitely going to be remembered for a long, long time, because they're saying that was the biggest upset in NCAA tournament history.
Wow.
And that right there, those are bold words. Those are really, really bold words. And, NCAA, because I was there for Five Slammer Jammer. We lost. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You know what I mean? So I'm serious. You know what I mean? So that's a huge, bold statement for someone to say. But what a tournament match, man! Like I said, you get a chance, watch it. It's definitely well worth the time. Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to put that one up there. And again, I got to give a big shout out to my University of Houston Cougars. The alma mater went out there and they did it. They did it in grand fashion, man. Now they're going off to the Sweet 16. They're going to face Purdue on Friday. They got a chance to go to the Elite Eight, and then they're just a couple wins away, man. Yeah. Or maybe we can have Phi Slamma Jamma again. They got a great team.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that team looks so much like Phi Slamma Jamma, man. They remind
just a little smaller.
Well, but it just reminds me of the way it feels around Houston right now about our college team. So no, man, I get it, man. But on another note, the Leon Edwards, did you get a chance to check that out?
I saw some highlights from it, yeah.
And I tell you, man, Leon, I got a chance to meet Leon last time I was in England. And nice guy, man. Really, really nice guy. He doesn't look like a fighter or a world beater or anything like that when you see him in person. But the guy has skills inside the octagon. But this time around, trying to make that return after losing his championship, things didn't work out too well for him, man. He got tapped out. And it's one of the most awkward chokes that I've ever seen. One arm choked him. And I don't know how he ended up in that position for that to happen to him, but that's the art of the fight game, man. Those guys are really, really skilled at what they do. I do not suggest anybody walking off the street and trying to run up on somebody like that, because Sean Brady showed me that he has skills. Skills pays the bills. That's what they say. You know what I mean? And for him to go out there and tap out Leon Edwards the way he did was so damn impressive. So impressive.
Yeah, Leon Edwards was a guy who went out there and had one of those great fights with Kamaru Usman to finally get on top of the world, and even going forward with the title. We thought, man, Leon might be the next guy who just runs through the division. And now coming back after that loss and then suffering one like this, it definitely knocks him down a few pegs as far as getting back into title contention. But more or less, I think Leon Edwards, believe it or not, in my opinion, after that Kamaru win and in the rematch, I feel like his legacy was cemented already. Yeah. I feel like his place is made in UFC history.
I think the Kamaru Usman fight did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think that these losses, put a chink in the armor as far as his legacy goes, but they definitely don't do well on the body or the ego. That's for damn sure. Or the paycheck. I don't know if the paycheck stays. If you lose in the UFC, your pay goes down, right?
I would imagine, yes.
Like because you're less quote unquote valuable of an asset unless you're somebody like a I don't know, big name like a Connor or one of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, he might take a little bit less pay next time.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it can't go up.
Nah,
we can't pay you more after what we just saw.
Nah.
And the thing is, he's definitely on the downside. I mean, you can see it. One thing about the fight game, man, you could get old quick. You're gonna get old overnight in the fight game, and I think that's what we saw with Leon Edwards. I think his time has come. Guys just getting younger. Guys getting stronger, faster. That's all it's about. We got to take another quick break. Stick around, guys. You're inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, this is Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Fame. I got something for you guys, man. Look, when I was a kid, man, cereal was my jam. But now, since I'm a grown man, I'm looking for something that gives me more than just a sugar rush and carbs, man. That's when I found Magic Spoon. Look, it's a cereal that gives you the taste of your childhood favorites, but without sugar and packed with tons of protein.
And if you're already a fan of Magic Spoon, then you need to listen up to this because I've got some big news. Magic Spoon has taken that amazing cereal that we all love and turned it into high-protein treats. These new treats are light, they're crispy, and they become my go-to snack, especially before or even after the gym.
Yeah, man, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and only 4 grams of net carb. That fruity and cocoa flavor are the classic ones, but there's a whole lot more to try, man.
And those new treats, they've got 12 grams of protein and come in flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Perfect when you're on the go or you need a quick snack to fuel up before that workout.
Yeah, man, I keep a box in my gym bag, but it's a great late night snack as well. Those treats have that crispy texture, great taste, and the macros that make you feel good about eating them.
So Magic Spoon's bringing back those nostalgic flavors, but without all the stuff that we don't want. So if you want to try it for yourself and get $5 off your next order, go to magicspoon.com/HOF. That's magicspoon.com/HOF. Or you can even find it on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store.
That's magicspoon.com/HOF for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Yes, yes. Talking about sports, man. Talking about sports. We lost a huge sports figure in the world of boxing, George Foreman, this week, and passed away at the age of 76 years old. And I tell you, man, nobody did it better than George. We celebrate the life of George Foreman. I mean, I don't even want to feel bad, sad about it because, man, that dude did so much, man, in his life. I always say, it's what you do in the middle. It's what you do in the middle. And George Foreman did so much, for so many people. So I just want to say Godspeed to George Foreman. And it's crazy. It kind of feels funny. We lost the three kings, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, and, Joe Frazier. Those are the three guys that really put heavyweight boxing on the map. As far as myself as a kid, of course, it was so many more, giants, back then. But those were the three kings. When you see the movie The Three Kings, that's who we're talking about. You know what I mean? So I just want to say, man, hell of a dude, man. Did so much. We're gonna miss him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. George Foreman's legacy, speaks for itself. Especially, he's a Houston guy like you and I. So it carries a little extra reverence for him. And, when you talk about him and Ali and Joe Frazier, he beats Joe Frazier for the what was it, the WBA and the WBC championship. And then goes on and he's undefeated. He's 40-0. And then that's when it all happens with him and Muhammad Ali, where Ali, beats him and it gives him his first loss in the, what was it, 8th or 9th round or whenever it was. Yeah. And, but again, Ali and Foreman, I mean, you just say that, everybody knows what you're talking about. The Rumble in the Jungle. I mean, everybody knows Foreman. And then I think George, look, he was just a great presence, always kind of a smiling, gentle giant in a lot of ways. I think a lot of people remember, I remember coming up, my grandfather had a lean, green, what was it? Lean, mean grilling machine,
Everybody had one.
And I mean, it was even so much that, Paul Wall had to say in the song, call me George Foreman because I'm selling everybody grills,
I'm telling you, man, I'm serious, man. I had that grill, man. I may still have it somewhere right here. I'm serious. I used it on a regular too, dog. I'm serious. He made a hell of it. Then to come back and win the heavyweight championship, 45 years old, that right there is something, I don't think it will ever be done ever again. He's seen so many different lives, and still passed away at, relatively a young age, 76 years old. So, no, man, he did a hell of a lot. He did his work. And I'm sure God got a spot for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just such a legend, man. Such a legend. Rest in peace to the great George Foreman. BT, not to do too hard of a pivot, but before we get into some more wrestling news, I do want to just shout out real quick. This Sunday, Reality Wrestling Glory going down. The Reality Wrestling Television Championship is on the line as the shooter, Chandler Hopkins, tries to continue his championship run, but this time he's going to run up against AJ Francis, all about the money. He's outside and he's ready to take his first bit of gold in Reality of Wrestling. That's a big marquee match. Also, JC Jane, the rock star, as you call her, from NXT, will be in the building taking on Gigi Ray and Eli Knight versus Wes Lee. That's all this Sunday. Reality of Wrestling Glory. The first taping is going down on Sunday. And then guess what? On the 12th, April 12th, week before WrestleMania, you want to really shake things up a bit? It's pay up time at Reality Wrestling, and it's going to be the first taping of Raw Platinum officially. And it was just announced today, the No Limit Steel Cage match between Will All Damn Day and Terrell Tempo. They settled their rivalry at the Walker Texas Lawyer Arena on April the 12th. So a lot of great Reality Wrestling content coming your way. If you haven't checked it out ever in person, make your way on down, man.
846,000 subscribers on YouTube, guys. Come on, be a part of the road, man. Be a part of the road. Be a part of this journey. More than anything, man. Talk about the debut show of Glory this week. It's going to be a lot of bells and whistles. You heard just 3 matches on the card right there that's going to be highlighted. But this is the show that we are really going to be putting a lot of focus and thought process into, really turning it into something special. We don't have a full roster yet on Glory, but we will be having a draft to find out who's going to be the Glory stars and who will be the stars of Platinum at the same time. So I'm so excited. Right now, we did our first Row Up show last night, and what a just to see the growth of my young guys. Everybody, like they say, chomping at the bit, trying to get their spot, on Reality of Wrestling. And I never would have imagined dreamt in a million years that we will be at this point right now where Reality Wrestling is doing something big things. Streaming stuff, you know what I mean? So having a truck to do that kind of stuff too, so it's awesome. So get ready for Reality Wrestling here in 2025.
So, Book, I want to ask you, we have this No Limit Steel Cage match going on where, there's going to be all kinds of weapons available at the wrestler's disposal. Do you think that there will be a 2x4 with nails at the Walker Texas Lawyer Arena on the 12th?
No, it won't be. But let's talk about that. I saw a match like that over the week.
Yeah. John Moxley, the AW World Champion, versus Cope, better known as Adam Copeland or Edge to WWE fans. We could have had Saraya weigh in on this. I would have been interested to hear what she had to say.
We should have.
But AEW, look, people always say it, Book, that we're critics or what have you. You know what I mean? Look, when AEW does well, we praise it. When AEW does something that makes us go, well, what are you doing that for? We say it. I'm a big John Moxley fan. I'm a bigger Adam Copeland fan. No disrespect to Mox, but I grew up on Adam Copeland and Edge and Christian and all that. I will say I have not been more uncomfortable watching a match in recent memory. And perhaps that is the desired emotion for the audience members, to be uncomfortable and feel Mox's pain. but there was a 2x4 with nails that Mox took a was it a body drop or a suplex?
The suplex.
Suplex on, and oh my gosh, they went right into his back. These nails went right into his back. And before y'all are saying, well, it's wrestling, it's a trick, isn't it? No, this looked like it sucked. And it made me quite uncomfortable.
Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's not my cup of tea. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You won't be seeing anything like that at Reality of Wrestling. Maybe one of those death matches in Japan. You might see something like that. I don't think I've seen anything quite that gory inside of a match. I mean, come on. I mean, what are you gonna do next? Shoot yourself? Bring a gun in and just shoot me? I don't know. When you're working with something like that and you got vital organs, because it looked like it hurt. All right. It looked like it was something that was very, very painful. All right. And my thing is this, man. I don't care what these guys do. I don't want to say anything negative towards AEW or anything like that, because I know I'm going to get all kind of crazy heat for it or anything like that. But I do want to caution these young guys that's going out there doing this kind of stuff. Maybe they're not thinking about what they're going to do after this wrestling thing's all over with. Maybe they're thinking about their bodies and how they're going to feel when they do get a little bit older, and carrying these scars for the rest of their lives. And then one day they're going to wake up wondering, what the hell was I thinking, doing something like that. And I say that, because I questioned Darby Allin the first time I met him. Mm-hmm. First time I met him, he did the coffin drop. I was up in New Jersey, New England Championship Wrestling, whatever it was, Northeast Championship.
Northeast Championship, yeah.
Yeah. And he did that coffin drop, and I was like, kid, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? So it's not that I'm not, cautious when anybody do this kind of stuff. Anybody do it, I'm going to say, man, what are you thinking? Just because I know how I feel at 60, and me personally, I'm going to tell you right now, I feel pretty damn good in comparison to what some of these guys are going to be going through when they, hit that age, man. So I seriously caution, going out and doing something like that, because I'm sure he had to go. Then again, I wouldn't say I'm sure, but it looked like he would have had to go to the hospital to get himself checked out after something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was at one point Wheeler Yuta is telling him, try to pull the 2x4 out of his back, the nails out of his back, and then he can't get it out. I don't mean to laugh, but you got to laugh to keep from crying, I guess.
No. The thing was, he tried to get it out at first.
Yeah,
he pushed it, and then he goes, "Oh, that's not working."
Oh.
It looked like he pushed it in a little bit harder, and that's when he was like, "Man, somebody please help me! Somebody please get this thing out of me." And it looked so freaking painful, bro. And he even said, "Go to the next spot."
Go to the next spot. That's what got me. Go to the next spot. I can't do it. Just go to the next spot. And then the referee mercifully got it out of him. But man, that was not something that I would want to put myself through.
You know what, man? You know what? I'm not going to advise not doing it. You know what I mean? If those guys want to do that kind of stuff, man, hey, I want to see more of it. I want to see more. If you're willing to go out there and do that, if John Moxley want to keep doing that kind of stuff on the regular, I want to see more of it. What can we do next? What can we do to top that?
Come on, man.
No, I want to see somebody jump off something. All right? Just stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute. Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With Earn In, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
Earn In is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the Earn In app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
You know, Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night. Or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly. You know.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift. Or maybe you're a little short on rent. Or, hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make Earn In part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to Earn In.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download Earn In today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with Earn In now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man. Boom, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just talking about AEW, John Moxley versus Cope.
Cope!
I like the name. Cope! I like that name right there, man. So you really dive in and sink your teeth into that one right there. Cope! You know, when he coming out the curtain, you know, he just go crazy. No, but I love it. But like I say, man.
You know, I do think about that. Yeah, I think it was because, you know, when I first started at reality wrestling, I was the ring announcer. So when I hear people's names, the first thing I think in my head is I think of like how I would say it, you know, as a ring announcer. And like, if I could figure out how to make it sound big in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a good name. Cope took me a second though. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know if I was on board at first because he's been Edge for so long. But then I'm not even joking. I thought about it today. I was like, the rated R superstar. And I was like, okay, maybe I could get there. I
Yeah.
like it. I'm fine with Cope and Mox and Cope.
Yeah, I can go with that. You know, I mean, if I was an announcer, I can get Cope. You know what I mean? I can get deep into it. You know what I'm saying? And put some steak on it.
Let me ask you this though: when you were in WCW or even WWE, TNA, any time, because you know JB was a ring announcer, I think in TNA for a long time. Christy Hemme did that as well. And then WWE had a plethora of great ring announcers while you were there. Lillian Garcia, Tony Chimmel, Howard Finkel, so on and so forth. WCW had Dave Pinzer, every now and then Michael Buffer. When the ring announcer says your name, does it jazz you up? Like, do you feel like, oh yeah, man? Or are you really looking for the pop of the crowd? Or like, what kind of makes you feel?
Honestly, I never really thought about the ring announcers until I got to WWE and the Fink. Gave me my entrance because I always loved the way he, you know, did his work. He was like the Michael Buffer of wrestling, you know, for so many years. His voice, he was the voice of, you know, wrestling. You know what I mean? I was always just the way, like the way he used to announce Bret Hart. You know, and then he would go, Hoot! And I had to introduce Bret Hart one night in WWE, and I did it the exact same way. And Michael Cole, he looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?"
The Hitman Hart.
So he looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?" But then that was the one and only chance I felt like I was going to have to do it. So, boom, I did it.
Hart. He did do that.
Yeah.
And then the big thing with Finkel was, had no, you know.
Yeah, man, good
love
dude.
my ring announcers, man.
I loved him, man. He definitely made me feel a certain way when he did it.
Well, you know, I think we're winding down on
Yeah,
the show here today.
we better get close. Let's get to the super chatters.
So we're going to get to our super chatters right now. If you have a chat that you want to get in, make sure you do it. And also make sure you go support Saraya and get her new book, Hell in Boots, available right now. I'm going to go order my audio book. I like to listen book. I'm going to listen to the book. Make sure you check it out. We really appreciate Saraya for joining us today on the Hall of Fame. But here we go, book. Our first super chat of the day comes from John, JID 999. Love that Raw is one of the spots for the ID showcase matches. Can you let us in on which of the next WWE ID stars are coming through Reality of Wrestling? Yeah, I do. We want to shout out the official WWE ID social media pages were posting clips from the Reality of Wrestling over the weekend, which was really cool to see. Man, I'll tell you, Book, I like all the guys, but I know that I know Big Sam's coming back. I know Mr. Mathers is coming back.
Cappuccino, Cap. You know, we don't call him Cappuccino.
Cap.
We call him Cap. Cap Jones.
Cap Jones.
He'll be back as well. But Brady, Brad Brady, Baylor,
Brad Baylor.
He'll be back as well. He's a kid that I really feel like he has an upside. Also, but we're gonna be having just about all the ID guys come through. There's gonna be some big ID matches. I know they got this big ID championship. They're gonna be tournament, for them towards. So I'm sure some of those matches are gonna be at Reality Wrestling too. So just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's like March Madness with the WWE ID matches right now, and I look, I'm seeing a lot of these guys up close and personal, and Brad Baylor and Ice Williams had a hell of a match recently at Reality Wrestling. I want to give a big shout out to those guys because I think that they really showed up and showed out. Starting off a show sometimes is really, really, really difficult.
It can be hard. It can be hard. Or it can be the easiest night. It can be the easiest part of the night, on the card because everybody's hot. You know what I mean? You want to go out there and get them crunk. So yeah, it go both ways.
You know what's funny is you probably remember this. We did a show, Reality Wrestling, one time at Hartman Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is what it's called, which was your former middle school, I believe.
Yeah.
And and I remember the kids were there to watch the wrestling match, and I want to say I don't remember who the two guys were in the ring at the time, but I remember standing in the back behind the curtain, and the first guy just throws a punch, boom, and you would have thought Hogan just slammed Andre. Do you know what I mean? With the way these kids reacted, they were loud and they were huge. And I remember the guys all looked at each other and they start throwing stuff out of their matches. They're like, "Oh, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that."
Yeah, that's overseas style match, man. You go overseas, you say, let's do a hip toss. Let's see how they react.
Keep it light, brother. Keep it light.
They react, man. Oh, it's gonna be an easy night. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really cool. Let's go to our next one here.
Super chat.
Hefe Pilot, what's up, King Book in the boat? Any tips for the row? And also, I'm going to be down there before the summer hits. Oh, yes, man. Let's get to work. Hey, come ready to work.
Come ready to work, man. Definitely, if you want to be on board at Reality Wrestling, you better be, like what I always say, preparation is your only luck you're ever going to have. So when you come, you better be prepared to get in there and do your thing and do it right. So come on and be a part of the row.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you. Can't wait to have you. Row keeps growing.
Super chat.
Eric Chudge. Love Soraya. Gorgeous.
Beautiful, baby.
Beautiful, baby. Book was in full hater mode last week. What that man Ashanti the Adonis do to you, Book? Player hater of the year. Well, I guess we're going to need a player hater meeting. We're going to need a players meeting.
Man, I said Ashanti Adonis is going to leave her high and dry. Man, look here, man. It's enough scattered ass right now for the last in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? So no, I'm just keeping it real, dog.
I mean, look, you ain't lying, but it's not like look, I mean, he's got himself a nice little situation there.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you run with it. You run with it for a minute.
It's a nice little situation he's got going on. You know what I mean?
I'm saying that, bro. That's exactly what I said, isn't it?
Don't hate on him then. You know what I mean? Let that man cook. Let that man cook.
I'm not hating at all.
Let that man cook. You know what I mean? If he wants a little bit of the, Petrovich, let him have it. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I said. I'm not hating at all. I just said I feel sorry for her for being so smitten.
She's smitten, Book. She got to be smitten. She's smitten. That's what she is. She's smitten. You're telling me she's smitten?
That's what I
That's
say.
a funny word.
It is.
Why is smitten funny?
Smitten.
Smitten.
Oh my God.
Oh man, but you know what? Look, I mean, shout out to Ashanti the Adonis. I'm never gonna hate on a man out there winning. You know what I mean?
Super chat.
Here we go. I Love Naomi as a heel. It's been long due. Instead of the happy hugging type, if she wants some titles, she has to go out there and take it, like the Street Profits. Yeah, Street Profits won the WWE Tag Team Championships over there.
Yeah.
And Montez Ford kicking it into a new gear, by the way. I feel, stepping it up to another level.
Been checking him out. He looks great. He looks really good. Attitude.
What do you think of Naomi as a heel?
No, I love it. It's something I've been thinking about, that she needed for quite some time. I said when she left the company and then came back to the company and she was still the same person, it kind of threw me off a little bit. But this change right here definitely is something I feel like is going to give her a lot more wind in her sails to actually get some work done. It's going to put her in position to work with, a lot of different people, you know what I mean? That's at that level. And that's one thing about this business, even if you're not, say for instance, in the main event, it's not your time. You still want to be working with the person that's in the main event. You know what I mean? So that's her ticket right now, all the way to the top.
All the way to the top, baby. And her and Jade Cargill, Jade had her first pinfall loss since making her debut in the WWE to Liv Morgan.
We're gonna get some good work out of it. That's these angles coming towards WrestleMania. Really, I feel like it's going to be some really, really good stuff come out of this stuff.
What do you mean by that?
I just feel like we're actually building to something really, really big. I don't even know what it is yet, but I'm sure at the end of when we get the payoff, it's going to be good. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll see. Jade Cargill versus Naomi looks likely for WrestleMania, and I can sign up for that. Our next one, Callie Toenail.
Oh.
We can't possibly believe that Rhea putting her name on a singles match contract automatically changes it to a triple threat match. So what's Pierce going to do? You know what? Look, I don't know if you saw this book, but it was last week, I believe, on Raw.
Yeah.
She does the super boom, 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 writes her thing. Same thing happened. WrestleMania 20, for those of you who remember, Shawn Michaels super kicks Chris Benoit, puts his name on the contract. Eric Bischoff looking like, what do I do? What do I do? I make it a triple threat match. Sometimes, if you think too hard on it, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you just got to let it be.
It's creative control, brother.
Yeah. Pulling the creative control cord on that one. But look, Rhea, Bianca, and Io Sky at WrestleMania, sign me up.
No, I mean, that's a match that you can get into. I mean, of course, you can go with the singles match, but Rhea coming in, I don't care. I mean, you want to see it.
Yes.
Bottom line.
Bottom line.
Bottom line.
She is all killer, no filler. You know what I mean? And I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan, and I think that so is the rest of the world, and they want to see her at WrestleMania.
Put the rip on. I'm down with that.
Our next one, Callie Toenail.
Super chat.
Helicopter match outside. You hover over the ring, and whoever throw their opponent out of the helicopter to the mat wins. Okay, well,
I feel like whoever jumps off the top rope into one of the helicopter blades will be better.
Moxley's got a blade in his back. You know what I mean? Wheeler Yuta's trying to pull it out.
That's what I want to see. That's who wins the match. That's who wins.
That's messed up. We got a couple more here before we're out of here.
Super chat.
Oscar Bum says you're the best black wrestler and top 3 wrestler all time.
I can see that. I can see that. Definitely. I always felt like I was, high on the list. Top 5. That's what I always say. Top 5 in the world, no matter where I'm at, but I know I'm top 5. So I feel like I put in the work of my era. That's what let's say that of my era. So yeah, I appreciate it.
There's a 2-part documentary coming out on Friday called Number One on the Call Sheet. It's coming out on Apple. And it's about, there's one of all women and all men, or black women and black men. And they're actors, right? The Rock's in it, Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, I think, put the whole thing together, Denzel Washington. And it talks about being number one on the call sheet, meaning you're the star of the film, you're the first one billing, you're the guy, you're the star. It's all about you and what that meant for them and what that meant for them in general, and then what that means for them in terms of representation back to their community. And I was actually talking to the director of it, and he's the same guy who directed Boomerang. And I was talking about you in the sense of what you said is like, yes, being the best black wrestler of all time, number one, according to BET, and really according to everybody, is very important for what it means to, I think you said at one time a kid in McGregor Park came up to you and, said he wanted to be like you when he grew up, and
Yeah.
you were a role model to him. And it lets people know, as you were talking about with Soraya, somebody, else can make it who came from the same circumstances I did. And it is important. And then you have to hold at the same time, but I'm also one of the best ever, regardless of color, right?
Yeah.
Regardless
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you have to juggle both of those. Like Jamie Foxx and Denzel, they're two of the greatest actors of all time, let alone what they mean to their community and the culture around them. But like, it's a weird dichotomy that I feel like, at times is brought up.
It is. It is. It's. But my thing is, I always thought about, the percentages. Who I was working. I was working with mostly white guys.
Yeah,
You know,
facts.
so I had to go out and compete with them more so than anyone else. And to be able to compete on that level for me was very, very important. To compete above that level was very, very important. Um, weathering the storm, lasting the test of time, has been very, very important. All that comes into play, I think. So nah, man, it's a job. It's definitely a job that you got to be thinking about as a job all the time.
But you know what I mean too, though. Like, is like when you are the world heavyweight champion, you are number one on the call sheet, right?
Yeah,
You're the top guy. You're the number one guy.
thanks for the house, brother.
Thanks for the house, brother. And when you get to that level, though, especially when, like you said, the percentages, when very few people get to this level, who come from where I come from, look like how I look like. Do you
Yeah.
feel like there was like an extra sense of pressure? Like, I got to make sure that I represent, because like if I mess it up, maybe
Oh,
that
yeah.
messes up for everybody.
I thought about that all the time. All the time. I always thought about, the guys and the girls that was going to have to come up behind me, and how we were going to be looked at. That's why I've always, represented myself a certain way. I always say my peers never saw me in a pair of jeans for more than 20 years. And that was by design. I wanted to go out there and work at a certain level all the time. I wanted to go out there and prove how good I was. At the same time, but given the opportunity was very, very important. Also, I was given the opportunity to go out there and shine. That's why I tell these young cats, these young girls, television is worth its weight in gold. You go out
It really is.
do your thing in front of that television audience, you cannot be denied. It's just it's undeniable. You know what I mean? And then the most important part is keeping your nose clean, trying to get through this journey, trying to not fall on a landmine, because sometimes your talent, you could be the most talented, guy in the locker room, and one mistake, it could all be over. It could all be over. You know what I mean? So you got to be thinking and having tunnel vision, when going through this journey.
We have a couple more super chats. If you talk about being television time, it's worth its weight in gold. I wanted to share a little photograph from, I think it was weekend before last. South by Southwest was in Austin. A lot of reality wrestling talent were over there, showing up and showing out. And this was a cool picture I saw on social media. Let me see if I can actually let me take that down real quick so you can see what it is I'm talking about. And this was posted on social media. There it is. There's Warren J with the reality wrestling tag team title with the Hardy Boys rocking the TNA World Tag Team Championships. And, same level. You know what I mean? Same
It's
show.
amazing. It's amazing, man.
Same level.
It's amazing.
Just want to share that, my guy Warren.
Guys are moving up. Guys are moving up. Moving out.
Moving up in the world, man. Moving up and moving out. Big shout
Love
out to
it.
Warren J and Zach Zilla. Couple more here before we get out of here. Do you remember wrestling in the Dominican Republic? I'm sure you did at some point, maybe. Were you ever in the DR?
No, I don't remember.
You don't?
I don't remember wrestling there.
You remember being in Puerto Rico, right?
Oh yeah, Puerto Rico, yeah.
Yeah. But never in the DR?
No. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I could have, blanked out on that one. As much of a party it could have been, but nah, I don't remember that.
Well, we shout out to all our Dominican brothers and sisters out there repping. The Dominican Republic. I've seen pictures of the Dominican. I'd love to go.
That's what I'm saying. I would have remembered that one. You know what I mean? Especially the beaches.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've seen pictures of.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I mean?
saying.
You talk.
That's what I'm saying. No, I don't remember that one, man. I would have remembered that one. For God's sake, yes.
In music, I'm definitely gonna support Soraya. Hey, we appreciate you. Go get her book. Hell in Boots, available now. Book, are you gonna be at WrestleCon in Vegas during Mania? Hope to see you and Brad.
Hey man, Brad, we definitely you come hang out with me for a minute. You know what I mean? Get
Okay.
sign some autographs. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm definitely gonna try to. I'm definitely looking to make it over there. All right, let's just say that I'm looking to make it to WrestleCon for at least one of those days. No, Thursday might be the day I want to get in there. So we'll feel it. We'll feel it. But look for. I'll post something and let you guys know when I'm going to be there.
Yeah, stay tuned to social media. Yeah, I definitely will be in Vegas that weekend. Definitely heading out to WrestleMania. So in music, holler at me if you see me.
It's gonna be hot.
Oscar Bum says, "Do you ever get sick of being famous?"
Nah, man. It's one of those things, man. People say, man, you ever get tired of people asking you for your autograph? People want to take pictures with you and stuff. And I always say, in my line of work, when that stop happening, that's when you got a problem. You know what I mean? When people don't care about you, that's when you got a problem. So for me, God put me in this position, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it. And if I could change one kid's life, come up to me and take a photo with me, shake my hand, whatnot, it's worth it. It really is. It's truly worth it. You know what I mean? So no, I never get tired of it. Just one of those things that I have to live with. Never saw myself being this guy who I am. I have almost zero pictures of me when I was a kid. In my adult life, that's all I've done is take pictures. It's crazy.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point, right? Because you probably don't go through an airport without somebody going, "Hey, Booker,
Exactly.
over here, Booker."
So to get a photo, you know what I mean? But it's all good. Like I said, I take it in stride and I say, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, when that stop happening, that's when I got a problem.
Yeah, facts. Well, you know what, Book? We're gonna see what the world of wrestling has in store for us. I know Raw and SmackDown, they're still overseas before WrestleMania. WrestleMania is right around the corner, April 19th and 20th in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be Vegas. It's gonna be the desert, but it's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get to Vegas, baby. Hey, man, I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne wishes. Caviar dreams, man. As always, Brad, appreciate the heavy lifting. And until next time, peace. We love you, and we out.